Right. Good evening, everyone. See if the sound is coming through okay. There you go. Josh is in. Josh, you're the first one tonight. I don't know if you get bonus points for that, but you're the first one in. I was a little bit late getting the notification out. I was like looking down. I was like 2 minutes. I was like, huh, the notification has come up. I was like, oh, wait a second. I haven't sent the notification yet. Whoops. So slightly late. We'll give everybody a minute to roll in here. Sounds good. All right, cool, awesome. And I saw James said he was doing stuff with mom tonight, so he's going to be listening to the replay, which I thought was great because you would like more pip chips for us. Or actually, Ernest said that, not you. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah, with less people, it means there's, more opportunity for you guys. Give him about another 30 seconds to get logged in, and we will go ahead and get started. Let's see there. All right. So, lots of crazy stuff happened today, obviously. And crude oil was definitely an interesting number. James explained what happened with crude oil today and why it was not a big mover. I thought it was actually a pretty interesting number, pretty telling number. And interesting enough, I did find. Here, I'll pull it down real quick. Let's see. LAFX. So, when I clicked on crude, I got these two charts back again. I was pretty excited about that. So, with that being said, check this one out. We're back down to 58. So, we've overcome half of our kind of pullback. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. Already. Again, if this one retraces completely, or when it does, when it gets back down to this 55 range, it's definitely going to be an interesting picture to take there. All right, so we will go ahead and get started. So, looking at 24-hour pip changes, it really wasn't. I wouldn't say it was really indicative of the day today. Like I said, there was definitely some movement today. Many of you were able to take advantage of things, and again, a couple of the trades we talked about setting up last night definitely got real deep into profit. So, but looking at minus 45, 26, 11, 46, 56, things were right around again. Obviously, it's ATR is a little bit higher, but again, not a bad move for the euro. Dollar Swiss again up pretty nicely. Again, 56 on CAD, again, pretty close to its ATR. Also, again, down in two different pairs. And then again, pound yen, again, not the biggest day in pound yen, but, it is what it is. Starting off early, actually, this morning, we didn't get a huge bit of movement. It's basically because this got washed out. We had the CPI number, again, was a miss, which is always good, but whenever it's tempered right at the same exact time with kind of a subset of it, again, that's in the opposite direction. It kind of skew things just a little bit, And again, there's really nothing that can be done about that. It's just it can happen, obviously. The subset can kind of mess it up for people. And then going to the CAD number as well, you guys can see we were -1 again. Nice miss on that one. Had a little bit of good data for that one as well. I'm sorry, I guess it was a good release, but then the common CPI was a little bit off as well. And again, when you have 5 of them, it's or 4 of them, what do you expect to happen? And then we followed oil, and oil actually showed that we had a surplus. We had a build in inventories, which is pretty interesting. Again, with everything that happened last weekend, you expected there to be, more talk about it or more movement, and like I said, the fact that we had a surplus is kind of like, oh, okay, did we, was it really justified the move that we had? And the answer is probably not. Then we had FOMC statements going at 2:00. So, some pretty interesting things they talked about. They were definitely much more fluid than I thought they were going to be, mentioning that, yeah, we're gonna kind of have a wait and see attitude. We're gonna take it, by we're gonna take everything with a grain of salt that we see. It was interesting listening to the news around when they were doing the actual press conference. What I found most interesting was a lot of the questions were like, the rest of the economy has to catch up to what the FOMC is saying. Um, Seems like we're a little bit ahead. Things don't quite seem to be as bad. They were talking about inverted yield curves again, and like everybody was so scared about that, and it's not really an issue anymore. And um, it was kind of interesting. Obviously Trump got his tweets on. Again, saying that we were so far behind, we're going to zero. And again, I don't know that, not that we couldn't, but they were kind of like, yeah, we're not going to zero. I don't see there's, under any scenario where we need to do that. And just interesting, so he still got a cut. I don't think was unhappy that he got a cut, but I think, obviously he wanted more. And, that was obviously a pre-scripted tweet. So that was coming one way or the other, but yeah, so nothing earth-shattering in there. I did say that they're planning on having another one. Um, it's either going to be next meeting or the December one. Okay, is kind of what is more or less factored in. I am kind of surprised. What we've seen in the past, and again, why they may have held that one is because I think they truly expect the kind of trade war to be done by then. So they can say it's going to be then or December if, nothing changes. But again, obviously, if the trade war is no longer an issue, that's the only thing really dragging the markets down. Why do we got to cut interest rates? There's no real reason for it, right? Is what their thinking is. So I think they're starting to play a bit of a game, and that's why they said they're a bit more fluid. But the interesting, the good thing about that is when they make statements about how they're going to be more fluid and take it kind of everything with a grain of salt, it leaves a little bit of indecision in the market, and that's good. When we know exactly when they're going to raise it and how much they're going to raise it, it's very easy for the market to price it. When there's still a little bit of kind of question, about what could potentially happen, then yes, that's where we start to see the big moves. And as news traders, that's where we really start to get, we start to like it. I think the statistic I heard was there's a 53% possibility that they're going to raise it next meeting. And then, obviously much higher if they don't in December. So again, 53% is very, very close to 50. It's kind of like, well, they could or they could not. And again, I think a lot of this has to do with trade wars. There's a lot of moving pieces that need to get taken care of before the Fed they start cutting rates again. Then we went into the GDP number for New Zealand. Again, that's good, right? Going up to 0.5, we mentioned would definitely be a good thing. And then again, in about 22 minutes, we have the basically the non-farm payroll of Australia. Okay, so we will see again how that turns out. Again, we're dealing with much lower numbers, and that's one thing I always like to point out. I mean, you're talking about forecast of 15,000 jobs. Ours are up in the range of 150s to 250s, and this is 15,000. So the unemployment rate will actually help this one if it does move. But you guys can see it's not it's one of those things that they don't miss it too often. Okay, they've been on it the last couple times, so it hasn't been as much of a mover. All right. So just be aware of that one. And again, you guys can see here, yes, they tend to miss this number much, but when you're talking about a small number, it's not as big of a deal. When you miss it by 10,000 jobs, it's it is a large country. When you miss the payroll report by 10,000 or 15,000 jobs, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, But again, we will have some movement, so we'll kind of see what happens with that. Going into tomorrow. Okay, obviously tomorrow, Thursday, we still do have some things. We have monetary policy with the Swiss, which again, is not expected to change, but you never know if they talk about the slowdown or any type of quantitative easing. There always is the potential for some type of movement. With Europe kind of slowing down and basically the rest of the world slowing down, there's no reason to think that the Swiss also wouldn't. And to what degree? Again, a smaller country, so we'll kind of see how much and what type of what type of stance they have, whether it be hawkish or dovish in that one. And then and again, that's super early in the morning. Again, if you guys are West Coast, obviously just after midnight. And then we have retail sales. Again, that is a mover for the pound. So again, if you are going to be up, definitely you can trade that one. We'll kind of see what we're at if we're near any zones and see if there's a potential overnight that we can set tonight that you don't have to stay up for. Then at 7 a.m. in the morning, okay, again, early, but again, pretty important, right? Official bank rate, it's the official bank rate. No expected change there. But again, monetary policy, talking about easing, slowing, inflation, all the economic factors that matter and kind of boil into interest rates. And again, it's still kind of hard to say much with this, just because, without any certainty on Brexit, it's like, yesterday we saw the news that said if there's a no deal, that means that, British companies would have tariffs, and the real question is, how much would that really affect them? Is if they did have tariffs, and would they be able to pass them on, and would they still have, would there still be goods for them to, would still people still be purchasing at the increased prices? So there's a lot more to it than just, oh, they have to pay tariffs. Okay, well, would they have to pay tariffs? Could somebody agree to not? I mean, the answer is yes. I mean, all these things could definitely be agreed upon. I mean, if companies want something bad enough, and the UK has the best product, then of course they could, they could work out a deal. It's not that hard. Um, People get what people want. And then again, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Like I said, all the news tomorrow is front loaded. We have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. We've already seen in the numbers that manufacturing in the United States is obviously slowing. So that's a number that we want to watch out for, because again, manufacturing is kind of it's one of the leading indicators that the people on the inside are looking at. Purchasing managers can kind of see that. Manufacturing managers are trying to produce just enough goods to meet. Again, they're the ones that are playing the game between supply and demand. Their job is not to pack warehouses full of stuff that they got to sell, because then they got to stop producing. The goal is to figure out what demand is and then produce a supply to match it. So when they start cutting back, they're starting to see something that we don't necessarily have access to. So it is definitely one of those leading indicators that kind of gives you an inside glance into what manufacturing is looking like. And again, anytime you see a manufacturing index, it's not a bad composite. All right. So with that being said, you guys can scan down real quick over here. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. He sees Brexit deal if both sides are flexible. Yeah, it's obviously I think they're trying to be flexible. Yeah, there'll be a ton of stuff on all this kind of stuff over here. A ton of stuff on the dissensions, the three dissensions. So if you guys want to really kind of start studying up on the Fed and kind of what their decisions and who are the players in the Fed, articles like this talking about what's going to happen. We'll stop lowering rates. You say that now, but last time you said that, and then you lowered them again. So just pretty funny. All right, so let's jump in. And right now, it looks like Josh is winning. Josh is running away with the pip chips tonight, but I know a lot of you guys really wait until the very, very end. So I'm not kind of surprised there. All right, so let's drop across to the Aussie yen. So this was the pair that we had talked about last night. Again, pretty interesting kind of pop on this one, right? So here we are right here. Time is at the bottom, if you guys can see 21. And when we go back, you guys can see that 21 is right there. Okay. We just left this zone. We had the profit target that we were talking about. Again, not only did the price come down and then bounce back off again and give you just below a re-entry, it kind of hit over here, but pop down right at 2 p.m. Again, FOMC time. And what did it do? It basically racetracked right back up again, right? I mean, it did it in about 2 candles. About an hour and a half, went all the way back up again, and then gave us an amazing short. So had you drawn this one, again, anytime you see a racetrack, you got to mark it off the top. There's where you went to. And again, we went pretty low on that one. It didn't go all the way down to the second kind of target. What we were looking for more longer term, right, was this one down here. But again, it did clear that area, finally kind of get pushed through it. This was one little spot that we were watching for. This is kind of the low of where the Sunday gap candle came through. And it just kind of burst through the bottom of that. So that at least lets us know that we've now cleared basically everything that's happened from Friday up until now. Okay, we have a true kind of, looking to the left, it all connects again, right? The low point of here when you go across, we're actually hitting a buying zone right now. So not bad. We do just have, we are on the daily in a red, green, red. So we do have a color confirmation off of that top zone still. And again, that's the zone we still hit. Again, you could have gotten out at the first profit target. You could still potentially be short in this one, holding it for the second one. Still bearish in this pair. Still like this one, to the downside. But definitely some play back and forth today if you were able to get into that one. And again, this capture last night was only about 8 pips risk that we put on. And I think the profit target on that one was about 24 in the other direction. Yeah, because it's low here. Go all the way up. Yeah, it was about 24. So 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio was that first one we set up. Hashtag Dave must have missed it. Yeah, Will, I think I had him before you. I actually tried to set things up tonight a little bit early and then forgot to send the the alert. So yeah, 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that one. Actually, it's just slightly more. It just doesn't want to connect right there. It's doing its snap mode. But yeah, so we talked about that last night. 8.5 risk, 24 on the other side. again, you had the other ability to drop in, and this one, again, I probably would have got out just above where we are right now. I'll put this line for learning purposes. That's probably where I would have had my target. We've just actually cleared to the bottom side of it now. And again, the reason why I did that is because this is a nice little pullback and a nice kind of explosive kind of start. You're talking about what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles from that base point. So again, you guys can see that's where the we touched here on the gap. And again, here's one touch of it. Here's 2 touches of it. So again, got to be a little bit cautious with that one. That's where the profit target would have been based off of on this retracement. Okay. Still bearish as it is right now. Trying to think if there's anything tomorrow. Philly Fed may have a little bit to do with this one, but I think big thing that we're going to be looking for is the Aussie number. Okay, this one will definitely be moving the Aussie number in about 14 minutes. Looking at 4-hour zones, again, I think you still have to hold this top section, but it's already, I mean, it's driving in the last hour at this point. I mean, it's just collapsing. This actually may be pre-leaked news at this point, because you think about it. I mean, what else has moved it, right? What's the driving force? What's the catalyst right now moving it? You guys can see in the last, we're in this 9 o'clock candle right now, so the 8:30 candle, you guys can see. I mean, it's quite a large parabolic move ahead of time. So it looks like it's trying to position itself early. So it could be pre-leaked already. May ruin it for us. I'm trying to think if there's any good ones here. A lot of wickiness in here, and again, this red candle here, large wick on the bottom, large wick on the top, and a small body in the middle. It's kind of blocking us on both sections as far as true analysis goes. Downside, again, we are in a single wick right now, so not a horrible zone. We do know that there's been buyers here before, but it's making a pretty strong attempt, really, really strong push into it. Again, we do like entries like that, but again, this started moving. Started to pick up steam as we got closer and closer to the news release. Next good zone, I mean, again, this is kind of junk over here. It's very, very hard to look at this. And again, both these are, they're shared. This candle, this wick here, and this wick have the same exact bottoms on them. Okay, so again, shows us that we established and then cleared. Really, there's not much down until here. It's about 44 pips. We can absolutely have a move 44 pips down. This is probably what I would look at. I'd see if we have something in here. If we can get, again, I'm not going to worry about a huge risk on this one because this would be definitely kind of a retracement on Nadex. Probably go there and probably there. Would be kind of 2 areas. If we can get a spike in any of those 2, I'd be looking at some type of a Nadex position. The risk on it's going to be too big for a spot currency trade. And again, because we've pushed so far away, I think the daily is out. It's a pretty big hike back up. And it's been hit a few times. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Let me see, how much is it? It's about 62. Yeah, technically we could do a 62. We could actually hit. So maybe we would actually put this back up in here and use kind of this as a top and bottom. Let me turn these purple so you guys don't think it's normal strategy. Something along those lines. So we'll come back to that one in 11 minutes. Let's make sure we go through these pairs. Aussie New Zealand. You can see Aussie New Zealand does not have what? It does not have the big spike down, right? So this one is not moving ahead of time. But again, it is still flirting around with this daily. Same kind of position. Again, it's given us a little bit of a pullback, but it really hasn't done much. It's really just basically gone sideways. You guys can see this one. We had this one drawn. Again, coming back down, see this is the start of the move right here, this red candle. We box it across, coming through. Again, if you didn't hit it here, you were obviously taken out of the position here, and it did actually go a bit lower. It actually went to the very, very bottom side of this, okay? And is, again, these wicks here are the same here. So there's not really too much holding this one back to go down to this, the kind of the lower level that we had drawn. Again, this lower level was drawn actually off of the daily, and again, we were playing this pop to the side. So again, we know that it's an old zone. I'd say we still have to be short this pair at this point. It has not been able to go higher. Again, it is put in lower highs, and it's starting to put in lower lows. You can see this wick here, this wick here. Again, this one's slightly higher, but again, it came back up and was reaching for some more orders to get some power. So we'll see what this next drive actually looks like to the downside. This one obviously too will be a mover, and you can see that even the New Zealand data really didn't affect this one too much. Okay, and this is the Aussie New Zealand. Looking at Aussie dollar. Now, Aussie dollar, you can see that obviously today was a big day to the downside. Again, there was the first profit target. What we missed retraced back up, and then again, it did complete today. Again, you guys can see this one. I don't know. I think one or two of you, I think, took this one last night. Again, off this level, came down. Again, touched it. You may have gotten nervous. Came across, and then boom, slammed all the way back down again. So it did do a little bit of a Harry Potter through this level, right? Went down, cleared it, came up, and then continued to push through. Um, but again, a little bit wiki. And again, when it came out with this FOMC time, FOMC time is about the one time that I wouldn't kind of play with that one. We typically like when it goes through and breaks it, not with a news release. So again, this is probably not a Harry Potter-ish trade that I would have taken. It went just a little bit high, but again, it did break through, came back, retested, and went lower. It just made it a little bit difficult. So right now, again, we are still taking this one to the downside. Right? Looking at this one on the 4 hour, you guys can see we've cleared this base right now. We're right at the very, 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 very tip, the very, very bottom of it. Got a little bit of a base here, very, very small, very tiny, small bodied candle. Again, that profit target we were talking about from the original short is down here at 67.75. So still has some room to run to the downside. Again, this one is also moving, and again, this is versus the dollar. You can see also in the last hour and a half, this one has really gotten some legs and really started to push down. And again, what I'm thinking is this may be pre-release data, that somebody has already gotten this data and has already started to kind of drive things. I can't say that's driving into a 4 hour zone because it was sitting kind of in this basing right here. And again, that's what we kind of, the FOMC notes is where it bounced into before it started to push lower. And again, you got this piece here. So, and if this was purely a dollar-based move, it wouldn't make sense that it's happening over here on the Aussie yen, right? For this to continue pushing through, again, yen is associated with the U.S. stock market. Again, that would be yen strength down. But then over here, it's kind of the same thing. This would be dollar strength. And again, whenever we start seeing that, interest rates being cut, I wouldn't say necessarily that that's dollar strength, especially, in the current environment. All right. So interesting play. I think this one is going to continue to push to the downside. I'm interested to see if we get a pop on this one. In reading this now, it almost looks like I don't know that we're going to have the move that we wanted. I'm thinking that the data may come in, or actually, again, I think the market is reacting early on this one, which again, it can happen. It's not like, it is absolutely without a doubt that nobody sees the data beforehand, but this is a lot of movement before, okay? Particularly in the last hour and a half when nothing else has really been happening. If there's any type of spike up, the only spike that I would probably take is probably this zone. And again, understand it's already been hit once, but there'd be my top side spike. Let's see if I would use this level. I don't think I would. I think to be conservative, I would probably use the level down here. I'd probably use this level as far as my downside spike. So if we do get a violent spike up or down, those would be probably the two areas that I'd be looking for a bounce off of. But like I said, the way that it's moving, I don't know that we're going to have that big of a miss today. It just seems like it's moving way too fast, too early. Okay. Looking at pound Aussie. All right, so pound Aussie is still driving. Again, this is showing us, again, Aussie weakness, showing pound strength, gaining more ground today. And again, another green day. We are, we are breaching, finally, you guys can see there's the black line from the daily. We are breaching the basing and the supply zone levels on the daily. Okay, so we are definitely getting in the very, very upper range here of where we wanted to go. And again, it's been slow. It's been grinding. It kind of was getting there. It looked like it was doing it, then it gapped back down again and pushed up. And then, yesterday we had this kind of these gigantic, wiki candles. And then today, finally, we got a bit of a push and we're kind of getting right up to that zone now. So we are right there. Technically speaking, this is set up more or less for a short at this point, especially going into news. I mean, it is definitely driving higher. Again, the last hour, we've seen a lot of movement already. This kind of pushing. We did see some movement earlier today. Again, obviously FOMC time, okay, because everything was affected by FOMC. But again, it came down, it stabilized, it stopped, and then bam, started picking up steam. Like I said, about an hour ago. So a lot of movement. It is driving. Again, we're right at the peak where we were at FOMC. We have not pushed higher. Definitely a little bit more interested in a short in this one. Okay, I definitely would have to say I'm bearish based off of what we're seeing over here now. This was a pretty good point. Again, we had 5 candles to the downside. If we get much of a spike, again, we're dealing with this kind of single wick over here that encapsulated the gap candle. So If we do get a burst up, again, that's where we're gonna have to drop to a lower time frame and take something small on this one. Obviously not a Nadex pair, so again, just keep that in mind. You are not trading Nadex on this pair. Okay. Jumping across, let's look at Europound. We'll see if we can get a couple more of these in, or maybe one or two more of these in before news gets released. Not that much movement in this pair. Look at this one. Again, we had this kind of nice movement up and down. We had bounced through here. Again, we talked about the Harry Potter, and again, it went about halfway through, went down to here, went back up again, dropped again. And although it did push a bit lower, it really didn't have much kind of momentum, right? I mean, we did go up, we did grab more orders, and then just kind of stopped, right? A little stalling back and forth. You guys can see FOMC was, again, right in, right here, right? Really nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, it continued to push down. But again, this is, euro pound. Is it technically affected by FOMC? Not really. I mean, it affected the overall market. And again, you can see the push, retest back up again to level basing, and then just stopped. It flatlined. So this will be something we're looking at more tomorrow morning. Again, going into tomorrow, again, 4:30 and 7 a.m. It'll be before the U.S. traders come online. But that should give us some movement in here. Now, again, this top zone, I would say, is probably still valid. Either of these two attempts didn't even make it that high. Now, again, they are basically the same exact point. The wick of this candle and the wick of this candle are almost exactly the same. So again, we have our established and cleared. I think that zone's still valid. If we get a pop up into 88, 85, I'd be willing to take that short. I mean, it's only, if you guys can see over here on the left-hand side, it's only, 8 pip risk on that one to the downside. So any type of pop up, again, be looking to short and take this lower. Now, looking at downside targets is a bit more difficult because it's been a long time. And you can see we had just a grindy market back then, right? I mean, it was flirting around. Again, you guys see this black line right here. That black line is where current price is. Is there any bit of explosive movement off of here? Not really, right? Even looking on the daily, let's see. Even on the daily, it's the same thing. You guys see this? A lot of wicks, small bodies. Again, it just grinded through this area. So I don't feel that there's a whole lot pushing this. I don't think there's too much that's going to stabilize this. It's kind of, if this drives and pushes lower, I think this can continue to grind lower, unfortunately. Again, true Brexit news would definitely be a big mover. That would give us a big candle, give us something to focus on. But I mean, even back in here, you guys look at this. This is more, spiky, right? You can see small zones. Going back to here, I mean, what do we got? Do we got anything spiky here? Nothing, right? This was in that May time frame where it was just nothing, right? So again, be very, very cautious with that area. I don't know that I would take too much off of that. I'm still probably at this point still bearish, but I want to see a pop first. I want to get in at a little bit better price. Okay, dropping across the euro yen. All right, so euro yen. What did it do? It came right off that top. We're not quite at the profit target. We're getting pretty close. I don't know if you guys entered this or not. Again, we've had, it kind of went back and forth. You did get a couple confirmation entries in here. It did go up. It did actually touch right here. This is at about 10:30 this morning. You did get a red, a green, and a red confirmation as well, and that triggered at about 1 o'clock. Now, whether you took that or not, it's entirely up to you. I'll stretch this out. You guys can see we had a fast pop down, grabbed these orders, came back and retested. So maybe you got into this after FOMC. So you had abilities to get into this one here. Okay, there's one. There's two. There's 3 different entries in this one. And again, that profit target is sitting right over here. Again, it was 44 off of these top 2. It's about 35, I think, off of this one. And again, we're starting to push down to that right now. So again, that's still a setup from last night. I wouldn't get into it right now. Again, you're a bit far. If we do cut some basing in this level, I don't think I would take a reversal off of that one yet. I think this will continue to kind of push back down again and again. A lot of movement. This feels like it's the yen monetary statement. That could be what it was. Let me see. Let's recycle the news there. Balance sheet, zero hedge. No. I was looking for this monetary policy statement, but nope. I don't see it yet. Nothing yet. Oh, hold on. No. Nope, not yet. So we'll have to see where that one comes through at. Okay, so there we go. So we had a good number, positive number, and the unemployment rate went up. Okay, so again, a little bit of conflicting number. Let's see kind of what we have as far as spikes go. Okay, there we go. Still pushing down. There we go. A little bit of movement there. Again, Aussie weakness with the unemployment rate, but we don't have a gigantic spike. Let's take this down to a 5-minute, and we'll see what we got here. There you go. There's the spike coming in now. And again, how about this for a 4-hour candle? No movement, and then boom, collapse. Now, that's about a 15 pip spike, right? What do we got? Yeah, 67. Yeah, not quite yet. Seeing if that's it's capping out. Yeah, we're about 17 right now. So obviously it's moving. 16. There we go. A little bit more. See how much more we can get out of this one to the downside. Switch this across. Come on. See, now we're pausing a little bit. We're stuck at this pop. Let me see if we can get down to the green. But yeah, it's having a little bit of an issue right now. We'll see if it continues to push a little farther. All right, so we're at the bottom again. Again, we were up here. And let's see what pound Aussie did. Yeah, pound Aussie should be going up. Yeah, we've broken through the top, but see how much higher we can get on that one. Yeah, it's holding at 16, which would make sense. That's about right. All right, so there. So we'll see how much lower we can get on that one. All right, so again, a little bit of conflicting. It would have been nice if they were both red, right? Again, if we had red and red, but again, this one ticked up to 5.3. Obviously, that's a big deal. Again, when you're talking about adding an extra 15,000 jobs over what you expected, you're like, okay, 15,000 people more working, but how many people are in the actual workforce? What are the percentages? But the unemployment rate, again, that means there's more people out there looking for jobs that don't have them. Okay, so that's typically a negative sign for your economy when people are getting, whether it be laid off or again, the unemployment rate is one of those numbers that's kind of misleading. Again, you can kind of make it say anything you want. And there's a couple of figures that are involved. It's how many people are looking for a job, how many people have been looking for a job because there is a limit on how long you're actually counting the data. And two, it's kind of what is your worker utilization rate. Okay. That's one of the things that the United States really kind of skewed what the United States numbers were for so long, because we had the lowest participation rate a long, long time. So it looked like the economy was doing great as far as the unemployment rate goes, but we had the least amount of workers. People were just not coming back and looking for jobs because it was so bad. So they weren't actually included in the unemployment rate numbers. Okay. Now again, do I think Australia is kind of manipulating the number like that? Probably not. They're not doing it to the same extent for political reasons as we were, but we'll see. Yeah. See, now you're starting to see a bit of a retrace. So again, that's what your burst was worth. About 16 on this one. Where's that? That was over. Let's drop down to 5. Yeah, so you guys are already starting to see from that zone. We're already starting to see a little bit of a pullback. But again, this is maybe a little bit of a pause. It may be kind of pulling through. It did actually pierce the bottom of the zone, so it may pull back and attempt to push a bit lower. We'll see what the total 30-minute was on that one. And interesting enough, do you guys see what it did right beforehand? 5-10 minutes beforehand, it did start to pull back up again. Try to get some cheaper prices, although not really a great area to kind of pull from. So, whatever. It happens. It happens. All right, so let's bring it across to this guy. All right, so this is one we set up last night as well. Again, we had this really nice zone. It was the start of kind of the top side of the channel. Again, you guys can see we came down. We did get another, you did have another opportunity to enter this at this basing level. It did go through. It did actually complete the entire target. So it did touch the very, very bottom of the zone. Again, not a horrible trade setup. This is one that we said that, I think we said you could take this in Nadex because I didn't measure this one out. But again, about a 60 pip move on this one. And again, all the movement happened right at FOMC time. Again, we had pulled all the way back. And again, this should be a telltale sign for you. When price rallies back up again and gets us close to where one of those zones are right before news, that's typically how we want to take advantage of it. My profit target was, oh, on the last one. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, wait, that's a different thing. So again, nice push through. This is a pure FOMC move, right? And again, this is why we talk about rate changes are one of the big things. And again, it's about 46 pips on a cut. Again, we knew it. It was this, we knew it was coming, and yet there was still, magically a surprise on there. Okay, so one of the hardest things to do about FOMC is getting any type of data for it is more challenging because it doesn't happen that often. And depending on the statement going into it, sometimes we get absolutely no movement at all because it is absolutely so telegraphed that it's not any type of move. Now today, as I mentioned before, I expected there to be somewhat of a move today. Again, 45 pips out of it in the first half hour. That's kind of what I expected. So nothing, out of the ordinary. If you guys go back, last time we had almost absolutely no movement whatsoever for the release. And the reason why is because they said that they were doing it. We knew the exact date they were doing it. We knew how much they were doing it. And again, it was all factored in. This time is a little bit more. And this is why I'm pretty excited about the next one because, again, they said, we're going to be a little bit more flexible and we're going to kind of watch the data and see what the data says. And again, it didn't say we're definitely doing it next time. It says we're going to watch the data. So that level of uncertainty means that the market could only price in so much information. When the market doesn't know, that means that the reaction to the news or the cut is going to be more. Okay, so that's what I'm loving it. Again, this one did what we thought it was going to do. Now, the way that this didn't actually make it as high, I do still believe that this is going to be a valid zone. Okay, if this is something that you want to continue to hold and continue to use, definitely mark up this area, this 107.70 up to 110.83. Definitely still a zone that is considered valid. Okay, I wouldn't, like I said, looks good to me. Hasn't been breached. Why not? Why not? Take it. Trying to think here. Let me see what else we got. Actually, you could probably front run that a little bit if you really wanted to. Let me see here. Yeah, I'd do it. Yeah, I probably would. Now that I'm looking at it, I'd put it the way that this zone formed here. Okay, again, it was a bit of a retest. Now, I wouldn't use the green. I wouldn't use this as the takeoff point. I would use this. Probably that area is what I would use. Okay, if we get any type of pop tomorrow. Again, we do have U.S. news tomorrow, right? Philly Fed manufacturing, and again, it may be a response from these pieces here, but yeah, if we do get a pop up, that could be worth taking as well. Okay, I still think that that's a valid area. Now, taking any longs right now, probably not interested necessarily until we get lower. Once we get down here into the 110, really 110, because it says the top of that zone is really at 110.04. I want to see it get a little bit lower than that. I would like it, but that zone is 110.04 to 109.91. That you're talking about what, a 13 pip zone. I'd like to see it get lower before I'm really willing to get long it. Okay, so and again, looking at the daily, I mean, it's just a mess on the daily, right? This one gigantic up down thing, and then the red is engulfed. Now the green is engulfed. This red looks like it's about to be engulfed if it starts to pop any here at all. So a lot of just sideways movement in this pair. So nothing super clean. But again, when we do have this up and back, what are we doing? We're following a channel. Up, down, up again, went to the same level, down, and again, that's what's marked off here. This pop up is this level here. Okay. Vic, you made it. Welcome. You're late, but I'm here. That's all that matters. Like I said, guys, it's setting yourself into a habit of stopping in. I mean, there are nights where I'm like, oh, I can't do it, but it's like, no, I have to do it. You got to make sure you get up there and, once you quit, one time and you don't show up one time because you're tired or something else, it's easier to do it a second time and then a third time. And then you're not doing it. And then 6 months down your road, you're like, oh, I got to get back into this. There are days literally where I'll look ahead of time and be like, the markets have done nothing today. They haven't moved. There's no news releases tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be rough. All right. But again, we just come out again, set yourself in the routine. And again, when you make it a habit, that's how you do it. So many props to you, Vic, for coming out tonight, even though you're a bit late. Okay. So
And this one, I'd still be looking for this purple zone. I wouldn't look to buy anything until we get much, much lower. Okay, looking at Euro Aussie. Ooh, I popped the exploit window away. There we go. Man, that was a slow load. All right, so Euro Aussie. Why did it pop? Well, obviously it popped because of news. Okay, now we are getting into a zone. Whoops. You guys can see if we extend this across, bring it all the way across. We have a zone. Really, we should do it there. Okay. So getting very, very close to that zone. Again, if we get up there, you could potentially be looking for somewhat of a retracement. I would drop this down to 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter for this pair. And see if we can get up there and touch that one to take a bit of a short. Now, if it turns and flips on us here, that's kind of just a tease. Let's see. How far off are we? Yeah, we're like 12, 13 pips. So if it turns and flips on us now, it's just being mean. So hopefully that is not the case. Okay. You need to like tickle this one. No. Pull back just a little bit. Go up higher. So yeah, I'd be looking for the zone just slightly higher than we are. That's a safe play. Obviously, yes, there is a wick over wick, right? Or there's a single wick against this kind of last pop here. But when it's this close, you just take the top one. I mean, we're literally within 10 pips of a kind of untested supply zone on the 4 hour, which is a great, great zone. Yeah, come on, go higher. Pop. Somebody blow this thing. Make it go up. Come on, keep going. I don't want you to flip on us here. That's what I'd be looking to do is when we get up there, turn and sell this one. Original, probably. Honestly, profit target on this one, I'd probably shoot back down here. This is, yes, they're sending wicks, but not a ton. Yes, this is a pop. Again, obviously, that's a news pop. This basing level here, so tiny. I mean, it's just, it's almost too tiny even on a 10-minute for it to actually be considered any type of a basing. Yes, it is a base. For 20 minutes, it didn't do anything. But I mean, it didn't really pull back. It's just a little bit of a base. The two candles are almost identical. Just one is green, one is red. I'm thinking any type of target on this one would be back down in, I'll just drag this one down. Be back down in somewhere like in here. Would be kind of what we're looking at. Something along those lines for a bit of a retracement. And again, the easy play is here, but you're going to need a little bit more of a movement. And it looks like it's starting to flip on us. There's your entry up here. We'll see what that one does. Let's go across the pound yen. Come on. You can go, pound yen. I did hit the button. Come on. It's lit up. Definitely lagging tonight. I think my wife is downloading movies right now onto one of our tablets. All right. So, pound yen. What did we do today? As you guys can see, not much. About 22 pips negative today. So again, we did have the pop up, and then we had the pop back down again. Okay. But again, it looks like it's a lot on the 30-minute chart. Again, this pop happened, a little bit after FOMC. FOMC was right here. So this is more really kind of the after effects of it. Again, the yen being kind of adjusted with this one. It did pop up. If you're looking at the 4 hour though, it really didn't do too much, right? I mean, here was this pop that we had, Tuesday, yesterday, and then flat. This morning we had a pop down and retracement back up again, which would have been this little area here, this kind of like W formation. But here, it based, it collapsed, came back up at the same basing level, popped higher, and then again, it's starting to hit the lower basing. So not really the most beautiful trade setup today, not really a lot of movement. Again, the CPI number this morning would have occurred, let's see, right in here, right here, okay? You guys can see this candle right here. That candle would have been about 33 pips. Okay. Now, why was this not a huge mover? Bryan, you said that CPI was a big thing. Yes, it is, except when you have PPI coming in right again with a conflicting signal at the same time. All right. And again, This is the red one. This is the orange one. But anytime you hear about, inflation, inflation is a big deal. Okay. And again, you guys can see this. The expanded thing is CPI, and again, it's inflation on the input side. So what it's costing for goods to go in, the raw materials. Okay, that's kind of the more important aspect of it. So again, kind of a hard one to pick, right? And that's why we didn't see the movement. And again, it can happen. That's news trading. You're not going to get every time it's not going to be me. Okay, so it's on your end, not mine. No, it's mine. The chart's not loading. No, don't flip out of your router yet, Ryan. No, it's loading slow. You guys can see it. I should probably close some things down. So when I'm in slide mode, I have all kinds of things. I probably have 20 browsers open right now. I have I have two brokers, including this one. I have two brokerage things open right now. I have PowerPoint, I have Excel, I have Word. I got so much stuff up right now. No, it's me. And like I said, I think my wife is downloading stuff on the tablet because we're flying. We're going back to Vancouver, second week of October. Okay. All right, going across pound dollar. Let's see if there's any type of setup tonight for that one. Like I said, there's nothing really that I love in the pound yen right now. This one we still had that short. You got a couple different options to get in. I told you guys earlier today. I said, hey, be cautious if you're inside, and we were kind of over in this zone in here. And I said, hey, listen, with it pausing and kind of what's going on, protect what you had in there. Now, had you held it, again, it did go against you. Okay, it kind of came back down again, and then kind of spiked up over here about 2 hours, about 4 p.m. Eastern time. Now, could you have gotten another entry in this one? Sure, if you really wanted to, you could have double dipped on it. Again, earlier we talked, and you said you had close to, I think it was 50 pips we had locked in. Let me see. Yeah, you guys see we're over here in the 50 pip range. I was like, if you got 50 pips on that one with FOMC, take it off. You're good. I mean, it was a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. We'd like to have more, but going to something like FOMC where there could be a lot of movement, you don't want to give that back. I mean, we were going for another 40 pips. That would have been the very, very bottom target. But again, this, as soon as we put a lower high in, it's kind of like, you got to start really starting to watch it. And again, 50 pips, 50 pips. If you get 50 pips a day, you're golden, right? I mean, 30 pips a day is what the goal is. So if you can grab 50 on something like that, especially with something as large as FOMC, get out. Okay. Now, again, you did have another option to get in. Again, you could have gotten in here, in which case, again, zone is still valid. Again, you're up on this one. You took almost no heat. It was very, very fast. You would be up. You took it off of there, down. I mean, you're up another 35 pips on this one right now, 36 pips. So you could have taken this trade twice today and gotten your 30 pips for yesterday or for today and for tomorrow already knocked out of the way in using this same exact zone, right? Again, taking this zone across. Come on, click. Man, this thing's driving me nuts. Come on. It doesn't want to do it now. I bet you IG platform's going to crash on me in a second here. But there. It's wrong color, but boom. There you go. Like that. I got to move forward class yesterday. Woke up with 25% of profit. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, you could have got down to 50. That's when I put it out. What time did I send that today? No, that's not the right one. It's this one. Oh, we are at 30. Oh, that was Aussie. That was a different one. I thought I sent it out for this one. Oh no, I did. Yeah, it was 50. Yeah, right here. It was at 8:23 this morning. Okay, see how and again, you guys see what I'm talking about? Right here, right? We had this push. We had the second one, which didn't go quite as low as the prior one. So we'll put in a higher high, or I'm sorry, a higher low. And I was kind of like, yep, you need to get yourself out of it. And again, snag yourself there. What did it do after that? It went up, 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 went to here, got basically really close to break even, kind of spiked very fast with FOMC, and then right back up. And again, would have probably stopped you out because you would have been at break even. So, and then again, we've pushed off of it again. So again, that's why you got to be careful. Again, going into something big before the market opens like that. I mean, again, 823 U.S. traders really hadn't set foot in the market yet. You've already banked 50 pips. Again, you guys do the math on this one, right? Look over here. Value per pip is $10. So you're up $500 before the market even opened. Okay. $500 a day is $250 a week, or is that $2,500 a week? Which just happens to be what? In an average of a 4-week month, 10 grand a month. All right, there's your 10 grand a month. Okay, at $500 a day. So there was your $500 play today. And again, you could have grabbed an extra $300 out of it. So be cautious with that one. Again, zone's probably still valid. Again, this is, a ground slow area there. This is, again, it's a spike. It's probably still valid for one more shot. Again, I may take it in 8x the next time. Not looking to get long that one until we get down to this area. Although, if we can get down into this 124.09-ish range, probably 124.09 to 124 flat, if we can get down there, I'd probably be looking for some type of a retest to the top side. So I don't think that's a horrible kind of trade setup, especially if we can do it on a spike. If we can get some of this news to give us that spike to the downside, I'd be okay with that. Again, that's about a 50. Let's see, we're at what, 24.60 right now. If we can get a 50 pip spike down or a 50 pip kind of draw to the downside from where we are now to that news release tomorrow, yeah, I'd be looking to throw an 8x, probably an OTM position on the top side of that one. Why not? I mean, what do you have to lose, right? It's pushed all the way back again. Yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. Yeah, this would be setting something up down here in this range for news tomorrow. I'm going to change that to purple. There you go. Okay. Pound New Zealand. Now, Ernest, is this true? Did I see you type that you were looking at this pair today? I thought you typed that somewhere. I'm scrolling back through as that's loading. Yes. Oh, you just said there's news. I was like, man, I thought you'd sworn off this pair. Yeah, you said it's clear. All right. So again, a little bit of a pop today. Nothing exciting. Again, we're right in the middle. You guys can see right now. See the black line going across on the daily? That's going right into a kind of a pullback right now. A nice little one. I would be looking for some type of reversal. None of it looks great right now on it. You've seen we've pushed into it, kind of pulled back again. Nothing really sharp though. Obviously, no entries, no red, green, reds that are valid. No real great confirmation on anything. Even on a 30-minute, it's kind of like, haven't gotten really much. Now, where we are right now, if you look right here, this is kind of an interesting little bit. Come on, go sideways. Oh, you're looking at New Zealand. Okay, I thought it was this one. Come on, go just a little higher. There we go. Okay, so you do have this. We are kind of in a failure to go higher situation. Okay, but this one you're basically trying to pick the top. Okay, and like I said, it's been very, very grindy. It is inside of a daily zone, but it's a zone on top. It's like a level on top of a level, though, so it could potentially go higher. Being a hybrid pair, it's probably just not something that's worth it. I mean, you can try, but I feel like you'd be forcing it. I mean, this one doesn't really have any clear pullbacks on the 4-hour. You can see it's not real sharp. Doesn't really show a lot of momentum. Yes, it's going up, but I mean, there's wicks here. This is nothing. Crazy wicks, nothing. So a lot of just kind of junk, just grinding higher. So it doesn't really show me too much. And again, it will run into something up top. But yeah, we had this nice pop and then nothing. We didn't really, no retracement, just grinding. So not a huge fan. Looking at New Zealand dollar. My phone just went off. I wonder if that guy's messaged me. Come on, you can load. Yeah, the force is not with this pair. Nah, not really. And Vic, there's no point in forcing it. Like I said, there's other opportunities out there. I knew that yesterday was going to, I mean, today was really the day that you wanted to trade. So today we had the best kind of setups in it. All right, let's see what Ernest has here. Like I said, look at this one on a daily. We are inside of a demand zone. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if the price starts stalling and we start to see some type of a pullback, like a decent pullback. Obviously, yesterday we were in a downtrend setup. The only thing that you could have grabbed off of it, again, inside of this kind of piece right here, would have been this wick over wick. And it did go, I mean, it really pushed it to the very, very end. That was the only kind of thing, right? You had this wick over wick. It did pull back to it. right? And again, I'm not at the very, very top, but it's lagging right now. So, and again, it would have chopped you back and forth. It's going down, but again, this is what I'd be worried about. Okay. Having a downtrend set up into an area where we saw previous buyers, it's a no-no, so you got to be a little bit cautious with that. So, um, not really a huge fan of that one. Because again, like I said, I feel like we're stuck in a squeeze. It was looking for orders to push lower, but it's running into an area where we've seen buyers push up, and again, a pretty convincing push to the top side. So again, just kind of squeezed in. Look at dollar Swiss. Now, dollar Swiss actually did, again, it's 38 now, but it was a little bit higher when we first started. Not having a bad day. We'll see how long it takes it to load here. Phew, you can do it. You can do it. It's really bad tonight. It's going to crash on me here pretty soon. Watch the IG platform. Oh, come on, IG. You can do it. There we go. All right. So, again, we talked about this yesterday. We are in this upper range here. Again, this is based off the 4 hour. Again, if you're looking on the daily, it is kind of, again, it's a mirror top kind of pattern. Not necessarily the best. We have pushed into it. And again, with everything that's going on, again, still no retaliation message. I honestly think that everybody has forgotten. Like at this point, it's like I'm almost kind of wondering, like I'm questioning, did did the rebels actually shoot drones at the Saudi Arabia refineries, and did they actually hit anything at this point? Like I don't even know. Like last time Saudi Arabia got attacked by somebody else, we had 2 wars out of it. Now they're shooting drones and they're killing stuff, and it's like one, they haven't done anything with those drones, and two, we haven't heard a peep from anybody. So it's kind of like, did it actually happen if nobody's talking about it? Type scenario. Like I said, everybody's talking about rate cuts, and you know, what about the drones? Come on, half the production of the country's out. I mean, I don't think they did that much damage when Iraq went in there the first time. You know, and we do something for New Zealand. Nope. Yeah, no, it's not. Unfortunately, no. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I urge you guys caution on this pair. Again, it didn't really do much. There really wasn't nothing really super tradable off this one. Nothing I would have taken or that I would recommend you guys have taken off this one. But like I said, I swear this weekend somebody knocked out half the refineries in Saudi Arabia, right? And there's nothing. We're not hearing anything. There's no military action. I don't know. At this point, like I'm worried that it was like our drones did it by mistake or something, because we're just not hearing anything. Yeah. Well, Iran, yeah, definitely is. Well, Iran supposedly was the one that funded them with the drones, but then that means that they're probably Russian drones. But then that helps Russia out because Russia, likes to export, oil as well. So I honestly can't figure out whose problem is at this point. But like I said, you're not hearing anything about it. The last thing I heard is that they're going to have the production facilities back online faster than originally thought. Like, no kidding. I've said that like 8 million times. Everybody with a pulse knows that. What about the drones? Seriously, what about the drones? I don't think we want to get into a squabble with them. No, I don't think we do either. The whole scenario is pretty crazy, though. Too many conspiracies. Yeah, exactly. What Vic said is just 100% right. Too many conspiracies and cover ups. It's just crazy. It is. It is honestly crazy. Like I said, if someone, I don't know, I just feel, you know what? Put it this way. Right now, with where we are, if 10 drones flew into Israel and knocked out 10 government facilities in Israel, we'd be in war right now, right? But yet Saudi Arabia gets attacked, half their production facilities in the country are out, and we don't hear anything about it 5 days later. So, whatever. I don't even know what happened anymore. So, nothing for me for CAD Swiss. I just, again, a little bit wiki, a little bit kind of low on volume for me. Again, we are in the upper reaches, so I do this the area we're at right now, although it is giving us kind of a little bit of resistance. I don't know that it's that. I mean, again, not that strong of a level. You can see it on the daily. I'm still waiting for us to get up into this basically back to parity. I think parity is kind of again, it's going to be a big psychological level. We'll see where again that to me again because of the psychological level of it, that'll be an area where I'm looking to kind of probably try to flip it and maybe take start taking some shorts, maybe on a weekly basis on that one. Going across the dollar CAD. Again, tomorrow, no CAD news. CAD news is Friday, right? Yeah, we have retail sales on Friday for CAD. Come on, you can load. Boop, 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 boop. My God, I just may restart the client myself. Wow, this is like a new level of lag on this one. I don't know. Maybe I will actually shut the computer off tonight and reset it. I should probably like close down a couple things. What do I got open that I can close? Got 3 PowerPoint presentations, 6 Excel spreadsheets, 2 trading platforms. Oh, you know what? Oh, I think I know what's happening. Yeah, I think I know what's happening. I think I have something uploading or updating right now. Yeah, I think it's downloading a graphics driver. All right. Talked about this before. Waiting until we hit this level. Again, nice little base over here. Sitting right at what 133.20. Okay, we're at 133.06. So again, still a valid area. Today was again, if you look at it, you started with a push down, right? We got, well, I guess it's been all over the place. We started down. FOMC pushed us back up, and then we pushed back down again, and then we pushed back over. So a bit of movement. Again, it was kind of in one direction, although there was a little bit of a whipsaw in the middle. We talked about this last night that we had the gap candle that was filled. It went just slightly above. And again, today at, what was this? Right at FOMC time, it did spike above just briefly before crashing back down again. Now, there was a little bit of an entry you guys could have taken. I did not get this one. Let's see. You had this ability right here to take. Let's see, right here. Oop, I'm going to get it. It's like hitting a target. Right there. Okay. So you did have a little bit of an option. Again, it was in an uptrend setup, right? Uptrend setup forming on the 4-hour when we had that pullback, right? So again, it's just not about dailies. When this red candle was happening here, that's what was going on right here. Okay. So again, uptrend setup, hit a level where we saw a pop, very small risk, popped up higher, actually ended up halting and kind of freezing at the top. It was about a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio trade. So again, something on the smaller time frames that you guys could have taken. Again, you wouldn't have used daily 4-hour, 30-minute. You would have used 4-hour, 30-minute, and 5-minute, and you would have probably seen that a little bit easier. And in this case, had you done that level analysis at that time, which you should have been doing, the 30-minute would have actually been your intermediate time frame, not your low time frame like it's listed currently right now. But again, uptrend setup at that time, reaction off news, hit a level where we saw price previously bounce off of, or actually catapult off of in an extended range candle. Showed us that there was definitely some strong momentum there. Again, nice little trade to the top side on that one. Now let's see how much. Let's measure this one. See what that pop actually been. Actually, I would have done it from there. Pretty close to entry. And 30 pips. So again, another 30 pip run that you could have grabbed out of that one. No, not trading. We got what we wanted to see out of it. Let's see. We'll drop this down to 5, see if you guys can see a little bit better. Go 5-minute. There you go. You guys can see a little bit clearer now. And again, not as clean on the 5-minute. Take this zone. Come on. Trying to pull it down. It's a little bit off. Again, there you go. And again, pop back up. Could have taken here, and again, it's just kind of ground. But again, you guys can see what it do. It pushed up. It bounced off a level here. Okay, we did have some basing. It came down. It grabbed that same level of basing, and that's what it used to kind of catapult and continue to drive higher. And again, we're sitting in the top side now. So, again, when something crashes like that, not a bad little turn. Again, it gets a little bit scarier anytime you're around something like FOMC. FOMC happened right there, right here, 2 o'clock right here. Okay, that's what popped it up, came back down, grabbed more orders at the same spot, and then took off. So again, shows you that these zones are real. They hold themselves. Now, if we get much higher, like I said, I'm going to be looking the short. I do like this zone on the 4-hour. I think that's a great zone. Just to mark that one off, if you guys want to set alerts, 133.20 would be the number for that one. Okay. Looking at dollar yen. If it loads. If it loads. Come on, you can do it. Load, load, load. Oops. Oh, nice. That number was my assistant coach telling me that he got 14 free tickets to the game on Friday. Pretty excited too. Come on, you can load. So Asher does actually some private lessons with a guy who's the face-off coach for Maryland and the Bayhawks, and we had a lesson tonight, and he basically just told me that he got activated for the game on Friday. That their main guy, they're going to give him a rest this week because they've already clinched playoffs. They're in the playoffs, so this week really doesn't matter. But he'll be starting and getting some face-offs in on Friday night. So it's cool because we're actually going we're taking the entire team out there, so it should be a good time. So warned you guys earlier about this one. Again, we talked about we had very, very much sideways movement, nothing really kind of great in here. If you look, again, it's pretty easy to figure out right here at 14 is where FOMC happened, right? Price popped up again, and what did FOMC do? Didn't really provide anything that we didn't really, again, they cut again. And what did we do? We looked over here a couple hours later, and boom, we retraced back down again. Okay. Now, whenever we push back up and you make a, again, failure to go higher in this situation, okay, here's where your entry was, and it was actually recent. It was about 2 hours ago. And again, a lot of stuff happened 2 hours ago with not a lot of news. There we go. Yeah, this is only 30-minute chart. Okay. Oh God, can I get over there? Can I get over there? You guys will know where I'm putting it before I even, There you go. Okay. Right. We pushed up and then price went down. Boom. Failure to go higher. You're looking for, give me the cursor back. Give me the cursor back. You guys can see right here, right? This was the failure to go up, right? We had this extended red, green went lower, and then bam, it's like, oh. Now again, could you have taken this trade and ended here with this red, green, red? Yep, you absolutely could have, right? And would you have still been in the trade? Yep, it would have got close. You would have been a little scared, but again, you would have got in. And then again, price popped up, it hit, and then dropped. Now again, for me, profit target would have been here. I'm not going to say that I would have taken this to the downside because there was so much basing in there. This is where I would have had the target. That would have been my target level. And again, why? Because it popped here. I mean, you guys can see this. It spent so much time just kind of bouncing back and forth in this 10 pip range. There's really nothing to kind of read in here. That was about the best little, that was the best setup area. Okay. Right there. Okay. That would have been a profit target. And again, we hit that right when chart school started. Okay. Even in the 4 hour, I really don't love anything. The only thing we have on the 4 hour is this kind of little basing level right here, which is not horrible. Again, but it was dealing with kind of the, this was Monday morning early when US traders came online. So this candle right here, this 7, basically 7, 8, 9, and 10 candle, that candle was the first reaction that the United States market had to drone strikes. So although it was a big mover, it was somewhat of an emotional mover. And in an attempt to be able to fill that gap. And then once it did, it didn't move for a couple of days. So I'm trying to think if I would even take that at this point. I mean, like I said, it spent 12 hours there. Honestly, it's I feel like no. Honestly, I think tomorrow with a little bit of news, I don't know that we can make it down. I mean, we're talking about it's about 30 pips from where we are right now. You can do 30 pips in that drop. I just don't know. What do we got in the morning? Really Philly manufacturing at 8:30. I don't know. I just don't really. What I don't like about this zone is the fact that it spent, 12 hours there. Again, this is going to be all Sunday night, so it's not even really like its true levels of basing. Because again, even though the markets are open Sunday night, there's not. Again, you still don't have the full brunt of the market coming online until Monday morning. And again, that's what happened right here again. So in essence, I mean, you could take really here and then come down to here. I just don't really know if I like it or not. I don't think I would take that one, guys. I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of that one, especially with this green wick being lower than the red. I do like how the red here is higher than this green. I do like that. I'm a big fan of that one, but I don't necessarily like the formation that we have here. So I think I'm just going to walk away. We'll kind of analyze something else. I'm just going to go. I'm going to skip CAD Swiss tonight. I'm just going to go over to CAD Yen, and we'll finish it out with that one because it's already after 10. Yeah, it's kind of a sneaky trade. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're watching it and you kind of if it's up there, then yeah, you would have grabbed it. But I just, like I said, I just don't want to force anything. I don't think I would have even considered that zone because of the lack of strength down there where the start of that zone. Yeah, dollar yen was really not my favorite pair in most of my analysis today. I just wasn't. I didn't really love much. I mean, literally the only thing we had was that bounce there at the end, and that would have been what 2 hours after 2.5 hours after FOMC that you would have had to kind of check back in and kind of watch it. All right. So, well, that's pretty interesting. Let's zoom out on this one real quick. Let's go a 30-minute. I have a feeling with the lag, it's going to not zoom the way we want it to zoom. So, interesting enough, we did not get the pullback that we were looking for. Remember, we said we were hoping it was going to come, basically go back up again and retag that zone. We really wanted it to do that. We wanted it to go up here so we could get into it. It didn't do that, but it actually went right to where we drew it originally. So we were right, but we were wrong at the same time. So right now it's sitting in the level of supply, or I'm sorry, demand. You guys can see the dark piece across is sitting right in this level right here. It actually broke slightly below, which is good, and then it's kind of pulling up. So it looks like it's grabbing some orders. It looks like it's going to make an attempt to continue to push lower. Like I said, we had this original profit target back from this kind of short way over here, all the way down at 8107. It looks like it's making a valid push to it. It looks like it's moving. We do have a red, green, red, and again, if price closed right now, it would be showing us that we have a reversal pattern on the daily as well as the 4 hour. And again, remember that zone where things were flipping was all based off the 4 hour, right? Price push down. Again, still haven't hit this lower target. I'm not looking to get long until we get to that point. That'd be the first time I'd even look at it. But right now we have, downtrend confirmed. We have downtrend here. Actually, the sideways downward bias confirmed. Yeah, that's it. We're getting close. But again, we didn't get the pop up like we wanted, but it did go right down to where we thought it was going to. So yeah, like I said, this is really just an oil trade for me. And again, with oil today, there's nothing. Oil was at what time are we looking at here? 10:30. So you're looking at right about here, right here. It's what's caused us to go down. Okay, that was worth 20 pips on this pair. So nothing really today, and then it retested back up and collapsed. So. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for tonight. Like I said, sorry about the lag here. I got a bunch open. I'll make sure tomorrow that I do not have, 97 things open. Just a reminder, tomorrow we're going to try to move it forward a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to try to play a game. We're going to see how it works out and see how everything goes with attendance. If you guys can do your best to try to make it tomorrow, we can kind of see how it works. And if it just doesn't work for people, then I will figure something else out. Like I said, I'm going to try to play a game tomorrow night at 8:30, so we're going to have to move it forward. So tomorrow night's chart school is going to be from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make it, obviously watch the replay. But like I said, see if it works for you. Let me know how the time works. It is a Thursday, so again, typically it's not as much, and Friday only has really CAD news. But we'll play it by ear. So last chance, go ahead and hit your exclamation point ticket, and we'll go across over to Stream Elements. And man, only 3 of you guys are in tonight. I don't know, is that right? I swear I saw Ernest come in here and put that exclamation point ticket. I'll be on. Oh, 60. Okay. Yeah, so everything's lagged. So odds are good tonight. James did not make it in. He won 2 days in a row. I can't wait to quit work so I won't miss these sessions. There we go. Ryan. Vic is in. Ryan is in. Ryan has 2 tickets tonight. Ryan, you did. Look, so you have 2 tickets now. That's why I put this screen up for you guys. And I can change that setting. But what it is if you do the hashtag ticket afterwards, it costs you 10 pip chips. And it gives you more entries. See, because that's the when I do the giveaway. Oh, it's not in there. I guess I would have to do it. I'll show you guys afterwards. But basically, I give you the option to purchase additional tickets. It just costs you an extra 10 pip chips. All right. So with that being said, let's close this down. Let us draw a winner. Ooh, FX Jones. I feel like he was on a roll for a while too. Ryan, you haven't won for a while, have you? I feel like it's been a long time since since he won. Give you your 25 pip chips. There you go. And I'll tell you what, guys, salty. And I'll tell you this right now. Anybody, yeah. So look, when I do giveaways, you guys see it here. Ticket cost is 20, so it costs you an extra 20 pip chips to purchase that extra ticket, if that makes sense. But see, I always click this one too. Everybody gets their first ticket for free. That's typically how it works. You get one for free, and then after that, it costs you some pip chips. A lot of stuff to play with in there. All right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow night. Don't forget, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you show up, I will give you an extra 10 pip chips tomorrow because we're trying to mess around with times and see if times work. So if you show up, extra 10 pip chips. Catch you guys tomorrow.